Welcome back to the Cottagegoth Library. I'm Lunacia, or Luna for short, and it's the first day of 2026. Happy New Year! In today's video, I will talk about the year to come, my goals or not goals, depending on how you see it, and I also want to talk about this thing here. I thought I would start with my reading goals for 2026, and it's basically very simple. I normally, and have for many years, like the last 20 years, I think, more or less, I set myself the goal of reading 50 books every year. This year, on the other hand, I am doing things a little bit more differently. I am not going to set my goal as 50 books. I have actually set my storygraph goal to be 12 books. That's one book a month. And you may say, but how can you not want to read more? One of my main reasons for this is that I want to read more books on meditation, and I know from experience that these books, they take more time for me to read. Also, I want to read more intentionally, which is another goal for me. I don't want to read a lot of books. I want to slow down. I had a goal last year. I have a video of that. I'll link that up here as well as in the description box about my 2025 goals. And one of my goals for 2025 was to slow down on my reading. And that was more or less successful, I guess. I had months where I was very good at slowing down my reading, and then I had months like December where I just plowed through a lot of books. But I'm going to try to read more intentionally this year, and also connect that to the slowing down my reading that I did in 2025. And that connects me to this thing. If you followed me for a little while, you will know that I started to using this as my reading journal for 2024. And you might ask, but I haven't seen you set anything up in your reading journal for 2025, Luna. And that is correct. If you look into my oh, this is the wrong journal. I just realized I'm using the wrong journal. I am back, and I am sorry about that. The journal I actually picked up was my journal for my meditation and mindfulness teacher training, which I started doing in 2025, which is a journal I have been using of sorts, but not for what you might think. It's more like a course book thing. This is the right journal, and a journal you might recognize if you followed me for a while. And yes, this is my reading journal that I used for 2024. I kept falling behind, and in 2025 I didn't pick it up at all. I've been tracking my reading with storygraph, but in connection with my goal of making my reading more intentional for 2026, I was thinking I would start using my reading journal again. So in 2024, I have videos with my reading journal for 2024. I'll link to those videos, setting it up and everything like that. All my 2024 reading journal videos, I'll give the links in the description box. So I'll do that, and in connection, as I said, in connection with me wanting to read more intentionally, I want to start using my reading journal again. However, so what I did in 2024 was I started out with very simple layouts, like so. And then I came to June, and then I started doing more like double-sided layouts for my journal. So of course I also in 2024 had months where I didn't read as much. They're fairly simple, I think, but I wasn't like super happy with them at the same time. So I think for 2026 I will do things differently. I am thinking of, because I can, it's like this was December 2024, and I always read more in December. I read 15 books in December 2024. I didn't read 16 books no, 15 books. That being said, I didn't read that much in December this year, but I still read quite a lot for being me. And I now have a blank double page for 2026. So I am planning on using it a bit differently. I want to make small reviews for the books that I read and write them down in my reading journal. I don't think I'll do the picture of books because I don't have the pictures. I'm not very good at planning and my reading, and I don't really do TBRs, so that's another thing. I'm not sure if I am going to do that either. That's another thing I've thought a lot about. As you know, I was a co-host for Queerlit Readathon in December 2025, and this is a readathon I've been taking part in for the last 11 rounds, I think. So December was round 16, and the first time I took part in Queerlit Readathon was in for round 5, and I decided last year that the only readathon I would take part in was Queerlit Readathon. And this year I am actually, because I want to read more intentionally and slow down even more and have set my goal even lower, I am actually not taking part in any readathons. So very simple goals. That's kind of my thoughts of my reading of 2026. And yeah, that's actually it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are for 2026. Are you reading a certain amount of books? Do you have any goals? Do you have like anti-goals? Are there anything else you're thinking regarding your reading? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear and talk about intentions and goals for 2026 with you in the comments. And with that, I'm ending this video, and until next time, whenever that will be, bye!